Hello, everyone. Welcome to Retro Cheese Review, where I force my friends and family and loved ones to watch cheesy movies from my childhood, and we both review them. Today, we'll be going through the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Before we jump in, let me introduce my wife, Felicia, who will be the guest for today. Hi, Felicia.
Hi. Well, I might have to divorce you after this, though.
Yeah, it's a great movie. So, a few facts about the movie before we dive in. The Rotten Tomatoes score, the critics score was 32% and the audience score was 57%, so it's a strong start. It was made in 1995, so after 2 seasons of the wildly successful Power Rangers TV show. For some reason, the red, black, and yellow Ranger were all replaced in this movie. They do not explain why in the movie, and when the season continued after this movie, they were also replaced. The actual reason is because they weren't union and they asked for more money.
Not like I
And
gave
yeah.
a shit though, because I saw it when I was like what 6 or 7 years old. I can't remember how old I was. I just flipped my shit. I
Oh yeah.
love this movie, but after watching this trash, I'm like, why did this happen?
Completely
Why not?
different people, and I had no idea as a kid. I was just like, yeah, Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Hell
Power
yeah.
Rangers. Fuck yeah.
And despite the bad acting, even though I loved it as a kid, the only one who was a good actor in the Power Rangers series we all know is the White Ranger, Jason David Frank, rest in peace. But the main villain, Ivan Ooze, in this movie was literally played by a famous actor who was the same guy who played the main bad guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. So like that's where most of their budget went, not in the CG, obviously.
Yeah, he was like Shakespeare, like he was like part of like the Royal Shakespearean Theater or Royal Shakespearean Company. Um, Basically a very prolific actor, but for some reason got put in this movie. Some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, little weird. Probably money. That's my guess. And you can tell that that's where they spent their money, because Power Rangers was used to using a lot of clips from Japanese programs, and you could tell when they kind of in the movie lost that, like the clips that they could use from the Japanese programs, because the CG just looks like a kid's college project, or I would say like high school like After Effects project or something. Like it is amazing. So, kind of getting into a quick synopsis of the movie. So, it starts off with like a good old Star Wars, role, literally just, explaining the Power Rangers and everything. And then the kids are skydiving for some reason, then they're skating for some reason. We
And
find
then they're
out,
skydiving with their bullies. I
yeah,
don't know why. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing together? I mean, I know it's like a school thing, but come on.
the White Ranger's got a snowboard while skydiving, which as a kid I was just like, yeah, that's really badass. He's skyboarding. Then they're rollerblading, as everyone in the 90s did. And then, for some reason in this construction site, they show this giant Easter egg full of, goo. Um, and yeah, that shows up. The Rangers go to Zordon. They get called in and get told, hey, this guy Ivan Ooze is here because Zordon just magically knows. But before they can go, stop Ivan Ooze from being summoned, the old, Rita Repulso, if everyone remembers, and Lord Zed, they free Ivan Ooze and tell him to get revenge on Zordon for them for some reason. So Power Rangers get distracted by a bunch of little, cum goblins that Ivan Ooze creates, or Cell Juniors is what I thought they looked like. And while that happens, Ivan Ooze uses Picard's flute to, destroy Zordon's, base.
Wouldn't be
Bunch of
surprised
other.
if it's the same fucking God.
It
Wouldn't be
looks
surprised
like
if
it.
it's the same fucking plot. That
Yeah.
plot, same fucking plot.
Yeah. A bunch of other crap happens. Zordon, they reveal him. He looks a lot like Death from Bill and Ted, or what did you describe him as?
I referred to him as a chemo potato
Yeah.
because he's bald. He's completely hairless, and I don't know. He just looks like he's on chemo. No
Yeah.
offense to chemo people out there, but that's kind of exactly what he looks like.
Well, due to this, the base being destroyed, Zordon, being sick now for some reason, no longer in his giant head tube, the Rangers have to go to space to get new powers, aka new action figures, new marketable powers. So they send them to find this lady who literally looks like Obi-Wan for some reason, but then it turns out she's a hot chick. That happens.
I thought we said Tusken Raider.
Yeah, she no like she's got Tusken Raider like yell for some reason. And like she does that the Goffy stuff, but then it turns out she's like Xena warrior princess shit. She helps them get cool new ninja outfits and then turns into an owl afterwards and can't help them in the style of like a
For some
D&D.
fucking reason. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's like a
why.
Dungeons and Dragons NPC of like, well, I helped you this much, now fuck off. And
Pretty much.
then yeah, meanwhile, like Ivan Ooze is trying to get the parents to like dig up robots and then tells them to kill themselves. And then he's getting all the
Pretty
parents.
big,
Yeah, then
honestly.
he's getting all the parents to eat his goo. It's like disgusting. And that's how he like zombifies them. I think that's what happened before he tells them to kill themselves. So he's like spreading his goo. Rangers fight a bunch of things, get awesome new powers and new marketable Zords that are animals. They come back. Kids stop the parents from killing themselves. Rangers use the new Zord to conveniently fly, and lure Ivan Ooze up into a comet and kick him literally square in the nuts into the comet. And everyone saves the day, and the music of Stan Bush plays, the amazing Stan Bush, who will be featured in a lot of these videos because he's, one of the greatest musical artists of all time. Did most of the Transformers 1986 album. I think he did the theme song to like Kickboxer 2. And fireworks go off, and that's the end of the movie.
Don't forget
Um,
the wiener kid. There's randomly a little
yeah,
wiener kid. It's like, yeah, I want to be a Power Ranger, and
yeah, he's all
fucking
about
A
being a power. He's
little
throughout the whole
wiener
thing.
kid.
I don't remember that kid at all from the series. It could just be selective memory. I hate that
Oh,
kid.
who gives a shit? Fuck him.
So first off, I want to give it a rating of when we were a kid, nostalgia rating. What did we think of it? I'm gonna say like as a kid, this movie was one of the greatest moments of my life, and I would give it like 12 out of like 12 thumbs up because it had Power Rangers and cool kick flips. And what I thought martial arts was at the time was doing a bunch of flips. What did you think of it as a kid?
So when I was a kid, I went fucking ape shit. I remember my brother and his wife. There's like a pretty big age gap between my brother and my in-laws, and really my other siblings. So anyway, with my cousins. We all go to the theater. We get some fucking Burger King. We get the fucking Power Rangers toys, and I'm just flipping my shit. I barely remember the plot. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Power Rangers, fuck yeah. And then that was it. I think I saw it all but once. Everybody was pumped about Power Rangers. As a 37-year-old adult, how do I rate it? It's come.
Yeah, as an adult, what I'm going to rate
It's
it
come.
is really good marketing. I was impressed by the amount that they pushed action figures in this movie. Like, because it was so many. Like, the Rangers went during every fight scene had new marketable weapons that they didn't have in the series and catchy one liners. I still loved it. The fight scenes were so cheesy, but they were hilarious. They were amazing. New costumes, new bad guys to fight. Just everything was so almost Hasbro level action figure driven, and I still really enjoyed it. The CG was so stupid. I will say. The amount that he that of the Ivan Ooze acting was so over the top. It was like Bruce Campbell B movie. Like you could tell this guy was just like, yeah, I'm a Shakespearean classically trained actor, but I'm doing Power Rangers. Let's just Nicolas Cage as a shit.
He sounded like an old Jewish man, and I'm just like, where the fuck did this come from? Are you gonna sell me some bagels and lox? I mean, you sound like some of the dudes that I used to go to the bagel shop. I used to go to these bagel shops, and they would sound exactly like that. I'm not being stereotypical. It's the fucking truth. And he sounded exactly like that. And I'm like, you're like one of those all powerful beings, and you sound like I don't know. You sound like you're gonna give me a discount or something.
He used a lot of force lightning, which was kind of awesome. Like he kept like palpatining throughout the movie,
You know
which I
what I
just
don't
thought was cool.
understand though is that like you're all powerful, and he's like just doing. He's just it's such a roundabout way of doing everything. Like he could have just like killed everybody with the powers that he has, but then he just resorted
But then the
to
plot would
like,
stop.
yeah, but I mean still, I mean Okay, from a logical standpoint, only instead of just using his weird fucking purple cum to to take over the world. And first off, why is he selling this his ooze or his bodily fluids to children? That's just some
To
pedo
control them,
shit.
yeah, to control them. The adults,
Weird
not the
pedo shit.
children. It
I know, but
it
I
was
mean,
weird because his name was Ivan Ooze, and I'm pretty
now
sure they
imagine if he was
sold some
controlling the
ooze.
kids. That'd be
Yeah, no.
fucked up.
Yeah, no. And then we had to, as a kids movie, we had to make the kids partially the heroes also. That's a very 90s thing. It's also great that like Zordon's recruiting kids like, Joseph Kony style to fight for him. That's a big Power Rangers thing also. But like because it's the 90s, the kids are played by like 30-year-olds, it's
Yep.
like, "Yeah, I'm 15." And meanwhile, they've like, got like, freaking back problems and pay taxes and stuff, but we're supposed to believe that they're a 15-year-old.
And I think the other thing that bothered me is it's like, oh, Zordon's dying. You have to go on this journey to save him. But meanwhile, they're just like fucking around. They're like encountering the Tuscan warrior with or Tuscan
Oh
raider.
yeah, and we forgot about the birds, the bird people. Like Ivan Ooze literally hawks a bunch of loogies instead of going and stopping them himself, and has these birds that literally. So, like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up From Always Sunny. So there's an episode where they all decide to become professional wrestlers, and they're like bird people. They're birds of war, and literally that's what these look like, only with like crow heads. And that is what Ivan Ooze used to fly through space and fight the Power Rangers. And they absolutely wreck the Power Rangers shit until like Xena Warrior Princess Tusken Raider shows up and beats all of the birds' asses. And then
I'm
there's
trying to
like this
see
whole
what
Martha
episode that's
moment of
from.
like, yeah, what?
Oh, I'm trying to see like what episode that's from.
Yeah, yeah.
Fight. I know it was like Fight
No, it
Milk.
wasn't
It
the
had
Fight
to
Milk.
be
It
a
was
Fight Milk.
earlier. It was earlier.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was an earlier episode. Fight Milk came later.
Oh,
But they
really?
still had Bird and Fight Milk. Yeah, like Always Sunny.
I
Check it
know.
out. It's a crazy
I,
freaking show.
yep.
Um, but yeah, like there's also like this whole like Batman versus Superman moment where like after she beats the shit out of all, she's just like, "Why are you on my planet? I'm gonna kick your asses too." And then they're like Zordon, and she's like, "I know Zordon. Zordon's awesome," and like then she helps them. So like I'm gonna go ahead and say like let's give it our rating after not looking at nostalgia. So my original rating was 12 thumbs up, and I'm gonna say not looking at nostalgia, I'm still gonna give it like 3 thumbs up, 3 out of 2.
So I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know if you heard any sort of weird shit that was going on in the background, but I was looking up the Always Sunny episode and I heard an ad pop up.
No, no,
Anyway,
it's fine.
so you how many what was the rating
I
again?
gave I gave it 3 thumbs up because it's still better than perfect.
I'm just gonna still say it's come.
Okay, so we got
Um,
that. We heard that here. The rating is come, and your
yeah,
original rating was fuck yeah, awesome Power Rangers.
yeah, that's when I was a kid, but as a 37-year-old adult, it's come. I'm trying
Okay,
to come up with a good rating system. I think come would be the lowest, and I don't know, top tier would probably be like the equivalent to what Cartman says, like big fat Oprah tits, cool, or some shit like that.
well, again, thank you, Felicia, for watching this movie with me, and thank you for watching this video, everyone. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this.
All right. Take care, everyone.